Hello and welcome to another of my pick a card reading. So today pick a card reading is going to be about what are the patterns in your life that you keep repeating and how to recognize them and then eventually break that patterns. So yeah. So I feel like life is full of pattern, like repeating pattern, cycles, karmic cycle, and it could be hard to even recognize that we are, repeating a cycle. So this reading is about that, and there are 4 pies to choose from. The first one is this salmon pink washi tapes, and the second one is this lilac washi tape. The third one is this green washi tape, and the fourth one is this yellow or orange washi tape. So yeah, pick whatever pie you are drawn to, and please remember this is only a general reading, so if you don't resonate at all with the reading, it might not be your pie or your reading at all, so just keep in mind. And of course, at the end of each pie, I will be giving an original poem written by me at the end of each pie. So yeah, thank you so much for being here. Let's go. Hello, pie 1, whoever shows this salmon pink washi tape. So this reading is about what type of pattern that you've been repeating in your life and how to recognize it and how to essentially break it. So I'm gonna be shuffling on camera. Okay. So pie 1, what pattern in their life that they need to break? Okay, I'm gonna take 3 cards. What pattern in their life that they need to break? Okay, so at the back of the shirt. So, and I'm also going to pull these deck like quotes on them, handwritten quotes. Okay. So what happened in pile 1? Oh, that's too much. I'm just gonna take the one that turned over, and at the back is there are as many forms of love as there are stars in the sky. Wow. Okay. So okay, pile 1, you got this quote number 8. The easiest way to let someone know they can trust you is showing your own vulnerability. And you got the Daughter of Swords, the 8 of Cups, and the 9 of Cups. Yeah, and the back of the deck you got the Chariot. So you got 2 8s. Okay, pile 1 is that the pattern that been repeating in your life that you might have not recognized, or you might have already recognized it, is that you tend to leave things prematurely. You might have noticed that you tend to, it's hard for you to stick to things till the end, maybe in a relationship, maybe in a hobby, or even in a type of study. Like you might have, for example, only if you resonate, you might have prematurely dropped out of college and into institution, or even like work. You might have filed in a notice, for work. You might have noticed yourself leaving things quite fast, quite early, because it's either you get bored easily, or it's either that the thing you're in might have progressed too quickly for you, or it's getting too deep or too serious for you. You might have a fear of intimacy, so that's just only for if you resonate, or you might have fear of vulnerability, because when things get serious, you might get cold feet. Just for some of you, it's like that kind of feeling, and I feel like you have a hard time committing to things. Maybe it's a fear that, maybe subconsciously, a fear of yours that you think that if I decide to commit to something, then there are no more choices for me. If I choose this, then I'm choosing it for life, and I'm going to be stuck with it for a long time. So that's why you have a hard time really choosing something, because yes, a fear of commitment, you could say. So you might have noticed these patterns in your life. Pile 1, and there's no judgment here at all. I'm just reading the card, and I feel like this is kind of common, when you know or think that you got a lot of options, so you would take your time, or you would dabble in things, try out different things, and that's actually a good trait. That's actually fine to do that, to try out different things, to dabble in different area, different hobbies. Like you might change for example, if you're a college student, you might change your course a lot, change your mind a lot, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine to do that. We do have the choice to change our mind, but this trait become a problem when we know that we like that thing, or when we know that we need to commit to thing and we don't, because of fear of putting it your all, like giving it your all. You might be the type to like put your eggs in different basket. You might be the type to put your eggs in different basket, because you think that will give you more chances of success, or that you don't like to do one thing. So for example, if you might be the type to have multiple hobbies and multiple stream of income, and that's fine. But if we can look at the other side of that, is like your focus is divided, like your focus is everywhere instead of one place. When maybe you notice in one period of your life you need to focus on this thing, or one thing really need your focus, like for example maybe your study really need your focus in this time, but you will find yourself unable to do so, find yourself focusing on too many things, like your relationship or your hobbies or other things. Another one is, for example, maybe your relationship in your friend or even your partner needed your attention at this time, but you find yourself unable to give all of your undivided attention to that thing, because I feel like you fear of looking into the thing in the face, like facing the fear in the face is something that maybe subconsciously you feel exposed. There's also maybe a fear of failure as well. So when we don't give our all to something because we think that, oh, it's not gonna work out anyway, so we kind of self-sabotage in a way. Like for example, a relationship is going well, but you have a fear of commitment, a fear of vulnerability, so you kind of tell yourself, oh, this is not gonna last. Even though we're doing good right now, I don't think it's gonna last. So you might have left the relationship early, and that equates self-sabotage and a fear of giving it your all, a fear of failure, because so you fail it yourself. Yes, you want to be in control of the situation and even outcome, so you take it upon your hand to do it prematurely. Sometimes, like cut the bud of the flower before it blooms, cut a relationship off, leaving a relationship before it can get deeper, like your partner or even friendship, because you believe it won't. Either you believe that it's gonna fail anyway, or that you have a subconscious fear of being intimate or going deep or taking it to the next level. And sometimes it reminds me of a quote of focusing on the next thing, focusing on like the grass is greener kind of mentality. Like another example is like if your relationship is not doing good, right? In a relationship, you rather cut your chase and break up and go somewhere else instead of maybe work on that relationship. Work on it and really give it your all and really do everything in your power to maintain it. So that's just a pattern that is happening in your life. It could be a pattern that you noticed already, or a pattern that you didn't realize you have. So this is really good, because in order to break a pattern, in order to experience new things, we must change in a way, or we can't change if we don't notice what we need to change. Maybe a subconscious mind is a bit trickery. They might be the driving force behind the pattern that we don't even know we're in. So if you notice that you tend to do those, like leaving relationship early, leaving things early, prematurely, maybe being a bit flaky and non-committal, like specific example, like if you watch a movie, right, by yourself in a laptop, you like to skip till the end, or you'll be the type to like a spoiler for a movie. Yeah, I think you'll be the type to don't mind spoiler and would love a spoiler for a movie rather than watching it live or through the end. So that's just a specific example. Okay, so next I'm gonna give this Whisper of Love deck for how can you break this pattern, as well as how can you love yourself more. I feel like in order to break a pattern or improve or heal or anything really, only require one thing, which is love for ourselves. So if you notice you have this pattern and you want to break it, our love and acceptance for ourselves come first, and then we will naturally break it. Like we love ourselves enough to try to the end. We love ourselves enough to give 100%. We love ourselves enough to give ourselves a chance to be vulnerable, so we can connect deeper or go farther in a relationship. We know that we have a lot of choices, but we love ourselves enough to try and commit to this one that's very important and deserve our focus right now. We love and accept ourselves enough to give ourselves a chance to connect deeper with people, to be okay with failures. We love ourselves enough to get ourselves to a position where it's okay if it didn't work out, and it's okay if it did, because we will always be okay. So yeah, this card will represent like how to break the pattern or how to love yourself more. Okay, so you got number 48. demonstrate love. Find out what is important to those you love and act on it. It could be those you love is you, like what is important to you right now, and maybe try to give yourself like a chance and put 100% on that thing that you love, that you passionate about. Like for example, if you have multiple friendship and you like that, you love that you have a lot of friends and different type of friends, but you feel like this one particular friendship is special, is unique, there's potential there to go deeper, but you've been ignoring that. So maybe give it to yourself to focus, particularly give a lot of focus on that specific friendship, because you know that it could go deeper, it could be something else. Yeah, so like give yourself a chance to find out till the end what's gonna happen without trying to predict it, trying to predict the outcome, or trying to control how it's gonna end. Let it flow naturally. So number 48, find out what is important to those you love and act on it. People often give clues about what is important to them. Yes, you might have a clue already what you need to focus on. You can show your affection for someone by listening when they have a lot to say, going for a walk with them, helping with chores, or planning a vacation together. Paying attention to what others are telling you can help you understand how to love them better. Create time for someone in your life, no matter what you have in your schedule. Yes. Find out what is your priority. Find out what you need to focus on the most, and let yourself do that without fear of failure, without fear of it's not gonna work out. If you feel like this area of your life needs your attention, please give it the attention that it deserves, because that's how you honor your desire. Make finding moments for those you love a priority. Those who love you understand you're busy, so when you change your day for someone, it does not go unnoticed. There are so many ways to show someone you are thinking of them. Send flowers, an email, text, or make a phone call. Preparing a favorite meal for someone, or running an errand to elevate stress, a simple way of showing your love. An angel adored with flower has scenes of kindness and love depicted in her wings. This is a gentle reminder of the way you can show love to those around you. The angel has a hibiscus flower in her hand. It is time for a clear demonstration of happiness and delight. Sometimes you need to do a little bit more to express love to those around you. Yes. You deserve to be loved all the way by one, or you deserve to love all the way till the end. So it might be I just realized it might be in reverse as well. I think that all the things I described might happen to you a lot. Like, you notice people tend to leave quite quickly, prematurely, like relationship seem to end quite quickly for you. The thing I described might be in reverse, and in those things might be done to you instead of, it might be in reverse as well. So if you notice that as well, you just get that maybe when you were a child, you might have moved around a lot, like just very specific. Like for some of you, when you were a child, you might have to move around a lot, like move your house and have to end your relationship prematurely. Like when you enter school and you make friends and like, oh, I have to say goodbye to this friend soon because I'm gonna move like next month. Yeah, it might have been from that as well. So that's just for a specific person. So it might have been from that as well, and you might have been unconsciously still operating in that energy, like I have to go, I have to leave anyway, there's no need to get to know each other further because I have to move next month. So you might still be subconsciously be in this kind of energy. That's why the pattern is still going. So that's just for some of you, for a specific some of you. Pie one, I'm gonna give you an original poetry written by me, and this one is number 88. I think I gave this one before, and I already posted this one in my Instagram if you want to check it out as well. My Instagram is called Pomnik, like it's just like my username. Okay, don't make promises you can't keep. You say I would never hurt you, and I said don't make promises you can't keep. We will not form a pattern. Oh my god, we will not repeat. I'm too wise to fall into own trap. I know what humans are capable of. You're not pure, you're not perfect, so don't be afraid of your humanness, because mistake will be inevitable. Sometimes you are not meant to hurt me, but to never do sound impossible. Oh, this poem have the word pattern. I'm repeating it, so very in tune with this reading. So this poem is remind you that it's okay if it doesn't turn out the way you want. It's okay if it didn't go as planned. Yeah, it's okay if there will be a mistake, and you know that there will be. Instead of trying to avoid a mistake, maybe we should stick around to experience it and know that it's not as bad as you think it is. Like, you will be okay even if it's happened. Yeah. So okay, that's it for you, Pi 1. Let me know if it resonates. And if you want to check out more of my original poetry, you can follow my Instagram and my Tumblr. And I have a written pick a card, more of a written pick a card in my Tumblr if you want to check it out. And thank you so much for listening. Bye. Hello, Pi 2. Whoever shows this lilac washi tapes. So today I'll be shuffling on camera and 4 cups. So today's question is, what are the repeating patterns that you've been repeating in your life but you haven't noticed, or that you haven't recognized, and how to break them? Part 2, what are the repeating patterns been repeating in their life and how to break them? Okay. Oh, you got the 4 cup again. Okay. Next, I'm also gonna give these handwritten quotes as well. So, the pattern that I do recognize, they keep repeating. Okay, you get 2. And the back of the deck is relax, nothing is under control. Okay, part 2. You got the 4 of cups, the lover, the hermit, and the back of the deck you got the 3 of swords. And you got 2 quotes. People like to focus on the things they couldn't have, and treat yourself like how you want your parents to treat you. Okay. So there's a repeating 9. Yeah. If there's a repeating pattern of the theme, a theme of taking for granted, as in whether you notice that a lot of people had been taking you for granted, or it could be reversed, like you realize that you had taken your loved ones or your friend or for granted, and you realize those facts after or later. It seemed like that's one of the theme, or it seemed like part 2, you have a pattern of, you might notice this already within yourself, that you feel you find it hard to connect with people. You find it hard to go deep or form a deep, intimate relationship. Whereas part 1 have a fear of intimacy. I think part 2, you have, it's not a fear, but I feel like you can feel this disconnect between you and people around you, or like your closest friend. It's like you are in a corner, as in like you feel this might be in your mind, or this might be how you are feeling. You feel like you are a stranger, like looking in, like you're not really in the situation, but you're like someone who's looking into a situation, not involved, like at the outer corner, watching, observing people. And you even feel like that even though you are the one like interacting with people, with your friend, your family, your loved ones, but you feel like you're watching yourself from a distance doing that. And you feel like there's this strong theme of disconnect, either with, I think it's with people around you, but maybe it's a mirror or reflection from yourself. There's a strong disconnect within yourself. That's why it also reflects in the people we're like trying to connect, people around us. So yeah, I think that's the biggest theme that you have been noticing by 2, and you kind of noticed that, and you might wondering why, like what is wrong with me. Take this only if you resonate, because this is very specific. But yeah, you might wonder like what's wrong with me, why can I connect with people properly, like am I even capable of going deep? Am I even capable of having maybe empathy? You might feel a lot of apathy, but it's like a paradox. Like you do feel a lot of apathy and disconnect, but at the same time, there's this side of you that feel like desperate for connection. Like I want to be able to connect. And I feel actually either deeply desire to connect properly, or desire of like annoyance or irritation at yourself that you couldn't connect properly with people, or be there interacting wholeheartedly without like a fragment part of you like observing far away, or even judging what you're doing. Yeah, I hope that makes sense. So if you notice these patterns keep repeating in your life, no matter in own relationship or even in new relationship that you have tried, you're like, okay, maybe I just need to connect with new people, and you try to connect with new people, and you still feel the same, feel that like that, you could call it a chasm, like a chasm, like a disconnect. It's like this feeling is like when I'm gonna give an example, like this feeling when you just an example, right? A metaphor you're talking to. Okay, it's a metaphor that represent how you connect with people. So when you're talking to someone, it feels like you're on the phone with them, and that phone signal is very bad. Yeah, like that's how it feels. Like even if you're like in front of them, talking face to face, one-on-one, or with people who you actually love, like your family, your partner, it feels like you're in a phone call with them trying hard to connect, but it's like the signal is really bad, and there's like a bit of static and disconnect there. But you're like trying to listen to them, trying to hear their stories, but yeah, that's how it feels. So that's just an example of how this feels. And I feel like you could say solution to breaking this cycle is, of course, connecting to yourself more. Go within, not in a judgmental way, like, oh, what's wrong with me, I have to get myself fixed, or go within with this mentality that there's something wrong with you, which there isn't. nothing is wrong. It's just, there's just a fragmentation there that we need to connect, like a snapshot that have been our place, you could say. It's not like you don't have any feeling at all, Paitu. It's actually the opposite. I feel like you have a lot of feeling, a lot of emotion, a lot of colorful emotion. Just for specific of you, you might have been called like cold or emotionless or like no empathy, but that's not true at all. So if that is what you've been noticing, I think one of the things that you can start to do if you want to is to very cliche but very like go inward, connect with yourself more, but not in a, like I said, judgmental way, but more of inquisitive way, like a bit of maybe even whole like empathy for yourself, or like go inward with understanding, not like fixing mindset, just understanding mindset, like, oh, what's going on here, why is connecting to people so hard. So maybe you want to do some journaling, like journaling on inner thoughts, your feelings, your emotion, and even yoga. Like those are the basic things that I think is basic thing that actually really contribute a lot to self-understanding, to self-awareness. But I don't think a lot of people do those things. Another one could be like reading. It doesn't have to be like specific topic like self-help book or psychology or anything. It's just any book and any movies you can watch, like movies, cartoons, anime, anything that help you to reflect, to come back to yourself, and maybe even relate to characters on the screen, on the books, and see how their process is, what are their thinking process, how are they feeling. It's like studying, you could say. It's like first we study outside, we study like characters in TV show and book, and then we take it back to ourselves and study ourselves, take reference and study ourselves, like, am I that person? Why am I relating to this character on the screen, on this anime? So okay, very specific. If you find hard to relate to others and can relate or connect to others, like maybe try it first with fictional character, like in books, in TV show, even in cartoons, in movie, even in like poetry. Yeah, reading poetry can also help us understand our own feeling of feeling that emotion that we don't even know what it is that we are feeling. You know, poetry is, I love poetry because it's like a representation of feeling we never knew we have, or feeling we don't know that we or a feeling that we don't know that exists, or that we could feel like this. It's a very specific feeling. And yeah, part 2, if you find hard to relate to other people, these are activities or like self journey you could go to, you can go through to help. Another one is like watching pick a card as well. I find that to really help with my self-awareness and like help me connect with myself on a deeper level. Sorry, I'm just listing activity, but yeah, like watching pick a card. My favorite is Kino Tarot and Kim Astid. If you want to look them up, there are perfect reader for self-love journey. Another one that I also do is like find time to look into your own eyes in the mirror. Yes, like it might sound cliche or cringe, but it's actually really crucial if you could look into yourself in the mirror and look straight into your own eyes and into your eyes and see yourself without without like cringe, you could say, or like even irritation or anger, or even resentment, or you could even say fear. It's not like you're scared of yourself, but more of like you are scared to see what's actually in there inside you, like what maybe scared of what you are really feeling. And that's normal, because as we grow up in this society, I don't think we are taught enough about how to handle our emotional feeling or how to even process them. Like, we got taught plenty about how to do this, how to do that. I don't think that not really contribute to self-growth or self-focus or self-awareness at all. So it's not surprising that some of us find it hard to connect or process our own emotion or even identify them. So part 2 is actually perfectly normal to feel as you are feeling. And this pattern, if you're watching this to break the pattern, then yeah, we can start by doing all the things that I mentioned. Oh yeah, about looking into the mirror and looking into your own eyes. We can start like affirmation, or we can start talking to ourselves like, I will get to know you, or I'm not afraid to know you, like you know yourself in the mirror. You can say this to yourself like an affirmation: I'm not afraid to get to know you, I'm not afraid of feeling the emotion, I understand you, or I hold space for you, something like that. If you want to do that, it's up to you. Part 2. And part 2, I'm gonna give you this whisper of love deck to see how you can connect with yourself more, love yourself more. So how can part 2 connect themselves more and love themselves more? Yeah. Number 24. Focus on love. Look for the good in everyone. Wow. There's a tiny green beetle there, and that might be significant. And there's also like this dragon is so cute, right? So you got number 6, so 66699. Okay, so I'm just gonna read out number 24. It is easy to see the faults in other people. This could be pertain to yourself as well. You might be a person who, only see faults in themselves and nitpicking. Your inability to connect, that might be one, or your inability to feel certain emotion that you should feel. Think of the positive characteristic of the people in your life. Remember the things that caused you to love them in the first place. Focusing on the love will change and heal any negativity that is there. You may be experiencing a rough patch with someone you share a relationship with. Work toward turning things around. How you perceive a situation has a lot to do with how you feel about it. Be good to people, no matter who they are or what role they play in your life. When you approach relationship with a positive mindset, you reinforce the love in your life. Strive to be supportive and loving, foster the good in others, and the return will be tenfold. A wood nymph offers her hand to a dragon. Dragons symbolize power, magic, and balance. The orange, yellow, and green tones in the card point to relationship communication and healing. A situation may feel intimidating, but you have the tools to get on track. And at the beginning of reading, I mentioned something about taking someone for granted, or vice versa, someone might be taking you for granted. It's like, or you could be taking yourself for granted. Even sometimes we take things that we have naturally for granted, like our health, or our everyday thing that we do our loved ones because we think that they're going to be with us forever. Yeah, that's just for a specific person. If you resonate with that, it might be time to try to communicate either to yourself or that person, and identify the emotion and go deeper. It's easier said than done, but that's the first step to breaking any pattern, is that we must be willing to do things differently. And pie 2, I feel like I've been coughing and a lot in your pile, and I feel like there's something stuck in my throat, so you might find hard to express your emotion or find words to describe them. Or you might want to work on your throat chakra, like meditate on your throat chakra, or practice speaking aloud, or even singing out loud, like by yourself, if you if you find it hard to speak out loud. Or like I said, read poetry out loud if you want. That really might help. So I'm gonna give you an original poetry written by me. Oh my god, you got number 24, like this number 24, and guess what it's called? You're not gonna believe it. It's called self-reflection. Self-reflection, yeah. And I think I post this on my Instagram story if you want to check it out. Yeah, I did mention like it's time to go inward, self-focus, self-reflection, journal, do anything you can that make you connect to yourself. Even watching movie, like it could be a children movie, like the Ghibli movie. Yeah, those things are very magical. Like they really make you think about your life and yourself. So self-reflection. I hate myself, so I hate the world. What's within is reflecting outwards. My inner light is dim, so I committed sins, but not to you or to them, but to myself the most. I don't give myself time or patience or love. I do not care if I'm feeling good or worse. I don't check in with me if it's okay or not, but I ask others that a lot. I can't tolerate myself, my thoughts, my soul, my humanness. Trying to learn self-love and self-forgiveness. Always compare, contrast, and measure my worth to the level of my usefulness. Telling myself I don't deserve anything, especially happiness. I think I'm kind to you and to others, but to myself I tend to listen to the devil on my shoulders. Yeah, this is a personal poem that I wrote, and I think part 2 you might be able to relate to this. So one thing that we should give ourselves the most is self-forgiveness. Forgive ourselves for our flaws or shortcomings, you could say. Like forgive ourselves that we are unable to do what we want to do, even if we desperately want to do it, want to communicate or heal or be vulnerable. We should give ourselves patience to learn those things instead of scold or berate ourselves, like why can't you be like that, why can't you be like this. Yeah, so yeah, okay, that's it. Part 2. I hope this reading resonated in some way, and if you want to read more of my original poetry, you can follow my Instagram and Tumblr. And if you want to read more of my written pick a card, you can follow my Tumblr. And don't forget to comment below or let me know what you think, or if this resonated at all. If not, that's okay as well. Thank you. Bye bye. Hello, pie 3, whoever shows the screen washi tape. So today I'll be shuffling on camera, and it is the same deck, the Kim Korn, the Wild Unknown. I really like this deck. So today reading is about what pattern in your life that you keep repeating and how can you break it. Part 3, sorry. What pattern in part 3 does you keep repeating and how can you break it? Oh, that's too much. Okay. Pi 3, what pattern in your life? Okay, that's still too much, but it's okay. This is a lot of cards. And I'm also gonna give these handwritten quotes as well. Okay, that's fast, but yeah. The back is getting no messages is also getting no message is also a message. And nothing lasts, and yet nothing passes either. And nothing passes just because nothing lasts. This is a quote. I'm just gonna put it here. So Pi 3, you got the Father of Cups as well as the Father of Swords. Okay, and then you got the Hierophant, Temperance, and 3 of Pentacles. And the back of the deck, you got the Son of Swords. So, okay, Pi 3, it seemed like this is only for like one message is probably only for one of you if you are a father, like fathers, or if you are even a mother or a parent in some way. You could be scared of repeating your own parents' pattern. Like, you know how we always say, like, I don't want to turn out the same as my mom or my dad, something like that. It's like if you are scared of repeating that pattern, the first step is being aware that you are scared. Like, that's already a good sign that you might be breaking the pattern because you know, aware of it. Yeah. So that's only for some of you. But the rest is, if you have a problem with an authority figure or authority in general, it doesn't have to be a specific person. It could be an institution like university, college, or even the government. Something that, you know, have this kind of entity of like authority, of, you know, order, of guidance even. Or if not an institution, then you could like literally have problem or have a hard time listening or obeying an authority figure, whether that is your parent, your father in Pacific, or someone who, like your teacher, your professor, your boss even. Yeah, it's a very specific pattern. But if you find yourself like resisting an authority figure in your life a lot, or like you find yourself noticing a pattern of, why do I always have a problem with authority? Like the, you know, like just example, like the police, my professor, my boss, my parent even. Yeah, why do I keep creating problem or looking for problem, or why don't I just get along with any of the authority figure in my life? Like, what's up with that? And you might have a hard time like following the rules, obeying rules, like just specific. If you don't resonate, it's fine. It's like some of you in school, you might have like skip class a lot or get in trouble a lot at school because you just want doing what you're told or something like that. And I feel like Pi 3, this might stem from difficult childhood, or you might have grown up in one of two ways. Either you grown up in a strict family, like very strict, very controlling, like as in my rules, my house kind of parents. And there were so many rules, right, when you were growing up, something like that. Or another one is you could grow up in a household that literally the opposite of that, like no rules, very very freeing, but borderline electing kind of household where you can do whatever you want. Like, they don't care even if you're like drinking underage or whatever. Like, they don't care where you are with your friend, where you're going. They, as in your parent, might not like care what you do, how you're doing in school. Like, yeah, borderline neglectful. So there's two scenarios. Those might be the type of childhood you grown up in by 3. And I feel like that what the scenario 1 or 2, that scenario or that experience might contribute a lot to why you keep repeating this pattern of going against authority figure, or hard time obeying rules. It's not in malicious way at all. It's not like you want to cause problem or you want to like attention. It's not like that. I feel like it's not like you deliberately trying to cause problem or commotion or even conflict. Like, it's not your intention at all, and you kind of even feel frustrated by that. So by 3, why do these keep repeating? It's like, why can't you just do what you're told or obey or stay quiet, right? It's just specific, very specific reading. I feel like I said, it could be because of your unbalanced childhood. So for if this resonate, then yeah. But if you don't resonate with this at all, it's okay, because this is very, very specific. But yeah, it could be from that unbalanced childhood. As I mentioned earlier, either you grow up in a very extremely strict household where there's rule for everything and you have to obey every rules, or you have to find a way to curve that rules in order to have a little bit of freedom. Or another one, like I said, very neglectful household, like they don't care what you do or you go or how you're doing or what you need. Nothing. Yeah, so there's 2 types. So that's very extreme. Whichever one you fit into, you could describe it as a very extreme household, like to the point, of course, imbalance, right? So when you grow up with an imbalanced, unstable environment, it might be what you only know, like as in, this is all I know. Like, I grow up having to, that phrase, like, grow up have to asking for forgiveness instead of permission. I think that's the expression. Like, so there's an imbalanced environment that you grew up in, but since you are an adult now and you've grown up, there may still be this need to create that familiar environment because it's all you know, and that's so we feel safe in what's familiar, even though that familiar or that normal environment for us is such an unstable, you could even say toxic, you could even say abusive kind of environment. So this is only for those who resonate. So if you don't resonate at all, please don't take this reading. So yeah, I feel like the first step to breaking this pattern is to learn our history, as in learn the way we were raised, learn or understand the environment we were raised in. It was either chaotic or either too restricting, like domineering kind of feeling, too controlling. First, we have to understand where we come from or how we were raised. The environment do shape us. So yeah, we kind of have to study and understand our character. For some of you, if you want to, like if you call or you want to, you can go see a professional, a therapist. to help you figure out like your environment, come to terms with your environment, that what type of person would be to come out of this kind of environment, to understand yourself and how you function, and how the environment shapes you and influence the decision you make, influence who you are. Like, it's true that the environment and people around us shape us and shape us who we are and influence us for who we are today. Like, that's true, but it's also true that we don't need to continue to take that with us when we want to start a new beginning, or starting a new chapter. Yes, or if you want to break the pattern, we can start to unlearn behavior, unlearn, you could say, unlearn our environment, unlearn our rules, unlearn our belief system that we were taught growing up, unlearn the behavior that we were encouraged or taught growing up. Yeah, like very specific example, like if you grew up in a strict household, you might learn like keeping things to yourself is actually a better option, because it's better to keep things to yourself so they don't take it away or like control what you like, something like that. Or this one is, you might learn that not sharing what you like at all is what you should do, because even if you do, they don't care anyway. If you tell them what you like, your parent would be very apathetic towards that, like they don't really care what you do. And this one is like, maybe they care too much to the point of like trying to take it away from you and control what you like. Yes, to very extreme polarities in here. So yeah, so we gotta unlearn our behavior from how we were raised, which is harder to say, easier said than done. Like, I have personally to unlearn a lot of behavior from my childhood and how I was taught, or how I was like acting or reacting or behaving in response to the environment, or the environment or the people that I grew up with. I can give a personal example. Yes, a personal example is in very specific, like in my family, you're supposed to, as a child, we would do things together, like go to concert together, go like to dinner, go on a short trip together. So if I feel like I don't want to go, like I would feel they would still make me go anyway. It's like my voice or my opinion doesn't matter. If I say I don't want to go on this short trip, it doesn't matter like what my opinion or my preference is, I still have to go. So I grew up believing that I have no voice or no opinion, or like what I say doesn't matter. Like, I can't say no, I just have to go on this trip, go on this concert, even though I really, really don't want to. So it's like, it doesn't matter what I think. That's the environment I grew up in, and I recognize that. So it's like, you might be able to relate on that. It's like, we have to recognize the environment we grew up in and unlearn the behavior that we were taught, and understand that we're not in the same place anymore, understand that we're not the same people, and understand that we don't have to take the learned behavior forward if we don't want it. Now I learned that I can say no to activities if I don't want to, and my opinion matter, and I have boundary. If I don't want to go on a trip, I can just, it's like my words and my decision should be respect. Now I learned that they should have been respect. yeah, something like that. Very personal, but I hope you can relate to that pie tree. So, okay. I'm going to give you a whisper of love deck to see how you can connect or even love yourself more. How can you connect and love yourself more? Pie tree. How can you connect and love yourself more? Pie tree. Oh, there's one flip over. Oh, there's two. Okay, I can take two. You got number 15, practice compassion, see things from a fresh perspective. Yes, like I mentioned, like we sometimes unconsciously or without realizing it, we still carry the same old lens, the same old cognitive function or viewpoint from our childhood. We still see things from our child eyes or how we were raised, like we can still see with the same perspective without realizing it. That's why patterns keep repeating. Even though we're now not a child anymore, or like we're grown, or our childhood is in the distant past, we still kept that lens. But now we can finally practice seeing things from a fresh perspective. And this one, 26, new love. Embrace an opportunity for love in your work prospect of our spiritual growth. Wow. And by breaking a pattern, this seemed like to be a big one. Pie tree, big pattern that you have been noticing or carrying or feeling since you were a child. So this pattern go way back. 6, 7. This bird, this blue and yellow bird is very stood out to me, and this crystal as well. So number 15, see things from a fresh perspective. Everyone benefits when we try to look at things from someone else's viewpoint. Walking in someone else's shoes can bring us to a tender understanding that may change how we're feeling now. Love and compassion always bring positive outcome. There are so many worthy ways to practice compassion. Volunteer your time at a nursing home or homeless shelter. Donation of clothing or food are always appreciated by those in need. If you feel so inclined or are looking for inspiration, read up about individuals who dedicate their lives to compassionate work. There are many biographies of great philanthropists such as Mother Teresa, Mahatma Gandhi, I hope I pronounced that right, and Tenzin Gyatso, the 14th Dalai Lama of Tibet. A nature boy gazes at a small blue bird. He wears a headdress with feathers and branches. The feathers in his hair suggest someone is reaching out to you. Pay attention and give support and love where needed. So in the beginning, I was mentioned you might notice that you find hard to, connect or respect an authority figure. Maybe you, like I said, with the lens, you might view an authority figure as a certain archetype, like how your parents, just for example, like your guardian in your past, like you might kind of still project the past to, like in the past when you were a child, you might view the authority figure as, uncompromising, very controlling if you grew up in the strict household. So you might still project that kind of same quality onto like an authority figure, like your school, your college, the government, your teacher, even though that might not be the case. But I feel like you will find an authority figure or someone you could look up to that really understand you, and yes, that could happen, but it starts with you, pie tree. It starts with which lens are you looking to or project toward that authority figure. Like you might, for example, if you meet a mentor, for example, like a mentor, and if you try to, see it from a fresh perspective, see them from a lens of fresh perspective, not a lens of childhood, like your experience in the childhood, then you might realize that this mentor, this authority figure is actually very respectful, it's actually understanding, it's actually not trying to control you, or they didn't care, something like that. Yeah, just a thought. So number 26, new love. Embrace an opportunity for love in your work prospect or for spiritual growth. Yeah, and you can finally learn from that mentor, just an example, finally be able to listen and not obey per se, but follow the instruction and the rules, and finally learn and practice the skill that you want to learn from this particular mentor. Just very specific, but yeah, everything has a season. Get ready, as someone special is now in your life. If you are in a relationship, there is a burst of fresh energy. The word fresh come up again, coming into your partnership. This could also mean fresh enthusiasm in a place of employment, or a wonderful opportunity that is coming your way. Yeah, I feel like when you finally learn to break this pattern and see from a fresh perspective instead of the childhood lens, you might encounter, you might have a fresh perspective on your boss, or you might even encounter a new mentor, new boss, new professor, new teacher that you could really respect and and connect to, and even look up to in a way. Yeah. Or a wonderful opportunity that is coming your way. You may feel like you are in a rut. You may have closed your heart to possibility or opportunities and feel that there is something new or adventurous out there for you. The most wonderful promise is that each day comes as a new beginning. Yeah. Put the past behind you. Yes, put the past behind you and look forward to the energy that is coming into your life. So for those of you who are college students, and find it hard to connect to a teacher or find a teacher or a professor that actually understand you and that really see you for who you are, or a professor that you could respect, and talk to. I feel like when you finally notice this pattern of your poetry, you will be encountering that professor or like a boss or a mentor, any authority figure that you could feel like finally some authority figure that I can respect, something like that. So yeah, coming into 5 ways to change up your routine. Look around you and engage with those you meet with an open mind and spirit. Try to learn something new about the people in your life. Enhance your chances of making new connection by engaging with the positive people you already know. Initiate interaction and social gatherings. You never know where it might lead. Shooting stars falling into the hands of a whimsical young fairy star can symbolize ideals, success, good fortune, luck, destiny, and achievement. Falling stars are about making a wish or setting an intention around something you want to bring into your life. This may be a reminder of the time when you welcome new things into your life. Can you remember the excitement you felt when you were venturing into something new? Yes, or that authority figure, mentor could be a therapist. If you're thinking of getting a therapist that you could vibe with, or you feel understood by, or they actually click and vibe with you. Yeah, I feel like if you notice this pattern with your poetry a lot, and finally trying to work on it and change it, a lot will change for you, poetry. You will be encountering a lot of you could say opportunity, people, therapists that you vibe with, a mentor that you get along and really want to learn it with, a teacher or professor that you can look up to and talk to, something like that. It's like you can finally have that guidance that you want. Poetry, I'm gonna give you an original poetry written by me, and I think I already posted this in my Instagram poem nick if you want to check it out. This one is called Authority. I mentioned this word a lot in this reading. So if my heart is now the authority of my life, how would it look like? I think the word indulgent come to mind, but whereas before that brought up shame, now indulge in what you're supposed to aim for in life. I would like to cry as openly and as sincerely, no hiding what's beneath, wearing my heart on my sleeve. My heart support me. I want to spend my days lazing around on grass, listening to music, creating arts. My mind say, what a waste of day, but my heart goes, sound perfect, you deserve it. The mind is not your authority. In this new me, it is my heart that I shall embody. So, yeah, pie 3, that is your reading. I hope it resonates, and if it doesn't, this may not be your pie. And please let me know what you think. And if you want to read more of my original poetry, you can follow me in Instagram and Tumblr. And if you want to read more of my pick a card like in a written form, you can follow me in Tumblr. And thank you so much for listening. Bye bye. Hello, pie 4. Whoever shows this mustard or yellow or like orange kind of washi tape. So today I'll be shuffling on camera, and I'm using the Wild Unknown by Kim Karn Tarot. So today we're gonna be pulling card on what are the patterns in your life that you have been repeating, and how to spot them and how to break them. So pie 4, the turnover. What are the patterns in pie 4 life that they've been repeating, and how to break them, how to spot them, and how to break them. Okay. So I'm also gonna give this quotes, handwritten quotes as well. What pattern? Okay, so at the back is this mountain that you are carrying, you are only supposed to climb. Okay, and the card that you got is don't wander away from yourself to get close to someone else. You got the Two of Swords, the Sun of Cups, and the Sun of Swords. Two suns, like the Knight of Cups and Knight of Swords, and Eight of Wands. Okay. Pie 4. There's a pattern that I think you have been noticing. If not, that's fine, but I think you've been noticing that there's a choice or decision that you have to always make. Like there's a decisive moment that you could feel in a particular moment, like specifically in a relationship or in a friendship. Like you could say, if it's in a relationship, there's a moment, that decisive moment that that you have to make, as in, am I being true to myself and making that decision for me, or am I making a decision from a place of ego or fear or even external validation? So that could be in a partnership or even friendship. Like there is a decisive moment in a friend group that have you wondering, like, do I really want to be here? Do I really belong here? Or do they reflect who I am? Or am I just here because I don't want to be alone, or I don't want to be an outcast? It's like I feel like other people or groups affect you a lot, as in you might be an empath pie 4, as in people feeling, people thought of you, people even judgment of you, like you really fear that or scared of that, or really, if not, then very aware of those or people, and that's why you have a hard time, you could say, coming forward, as all of you coming forward, you could say authentically, but it's not like you're fake or anything, pie 4. It's not that at all. It's just sometimes you have to be a bit discerned, right, about what can you show or what can you share to people. Or like, I feel like you're the type of person to tailor yourself according to the environment you're in, or according to the friend group, or according to the group you're in. It's like you're very, might be one of your talent by 4. It's like you're very like chameleon kind of energy. Like if you're in this friend group, for example, and this friend group is a certain type, like they might love watching movie, might be a fan of a particular movie. You can fit in, you can like tailor yourself into that group, go with the flow, and just like blend in. And if you're in another group that's totally different, you can do that too. So that is a gift by 4. That is a talent, but the quality itself is, like I said, neutral. It's how we apply that gift, right? So I feel like you apply this gift a lot in a survival instinct, like in a way that kind of masks your personality, you could say, or in a survival mode way. Like a specific example, like if you're in high school or in college, right, there is this survival instinct that we need to fit in, be in a group, because no one wants to be an outcast, no one wants to be a loner, no one wants to not fit in class or in college, something like that. Just very specific. It's just protective mechanism of self that we all need to do. Like if you start a new job, right, in a new job, in a new environment, of course you want to fit in, of course you want to get along with your coworker, you don't want any problem, so of course you have to tailor or like blend in, you could say, yeah, and get along, and that's fine. Like that's actually how you show that you are very protective of yourself, and you want yourself to to protect yourself, to have a good time, not to be like a target, a bully, or like you don't want to be the target of specific scrutiny, but this is a pattern you notice by 4. You notice that everywhere you go or every new environment you joy, every friend group you joy, you have to, or you have to do this, like have to use this gift of your, and maybe it's unconscious, like you don't even notice you're doing it, or you might have noticed you are doing it, and there's this particular moment that you are you are using this gift of yours to blend in, to get along, to become part of the crowd, like to if your co-worker example, like if this group of your co-worker have a certain values, you would be in agreement of that, you would like agree with that. And yeah, it's a tactic of instinct. Humans do this too because we have a fear of rejection and we want to feel belong. So I feel like everyone do this in a certain level, right? This come up in a pattern reading. So by 4 you might really feel, maybe if you resonate, feel like sick of this pattern. You could say like you feel like, why do I have to keep a persona, or why do I have to make a decision of like maybe sometimes abandoning yourself and your value just to fit in a group, or like you have to be someone else, be a certain person, or be half of you just to get along with your, get along with people around you, your co-worker, your friends. Is this something you notice? Yes, and you might feel like unseen, like nobody know who you are, because you refuse to show that, because you fear that people would reject that, or maybe even go against what you are. Like if you value different things from your friends or your co-worker, if you value, for example, if you value rest and moderation in the work environment, but your co-worker would see that as like being lazy or being uncooperative, so you would feel a bit unseen or unheard in that, and feel like you're different from people. So how to break this pattern, or how to even recognize it if you don't already that you are doing this, is I have to pull a card pie for. I have to pull a card for how to break this pattern, because I really don't know. Okay. So yes. Okay, this is Ace of Swords for how it's really remind me of this card, like the lightning. Yeah, this might be a thing you do like reflectively, like it's a reflex, right? You just like turn into like, you just put on this persona right away when you just do it not unconsciously, but like I said, a reflex. Most of us have a reflex about something. It's about this, and this card is about decisive moment. It is a decisive moment. I think you can break this pattern by your decision pie. 4 is a decision. I feel like if it's not unconscious, then it's conscious, right? Then you can choose if you want to do it or not. It's a choice. So it is a choice if you want to, if you want to value or honor your emotion, or you think, like specific example, like if you're in a friend group and this friend group is talking about, like specific example, if you're in a friend group and this friend group keep talking shit about this one person, or they keep gossiping, or you just don't vibe with that, right? So by 4, you just don't vibe with what they are saying, doing. You can decide to speak up, as if like you could go like, guys, I don't think we should talk about this, or I don't think we should talk about this person this way, or like, I don't want to talk about this, let's talk about something else. Or you can decide to like, okay, quietly, you can quietly like make a decision, like, I feel like this friend group is not for me, we have different values, they keep gossiping, and I feel like that's not my value anymore, something like that. Yeah, there's so many ways to do it, but it has to be in a conscious decision, like concise, decisive way to break this pattern. Like you decided, like I said, that example, you decided, okay, this friend group is not for me, and you slowly distance yourself, or you decide to speak up, like, I don't think we should talk about this. Yes, speak up for your value, your opinion. Yeah, it's a decision. Like, do we decide to stay quiet and let it go, or do we decide to speak up and let our opinion known? So it's a decision. It's like a decisive moment for you. Pie 4. So yeah, that's how you can break this pattern. Pie 4, I'm gonna give you a whisper of love deck to see how we can love ourselves more, or connect with ourselves more. Okay. You got number 11. Look to your inner strength. Yes, and it does take a strong and brave person to speak up, right? To speak up on their values, even if it's, especially when that values is different, especially when you know or think that you're the only one who feel that. Like, for example, you're the only one who feel like gossiping is, it's not a, high vibrational to do. Yeah, something like that. It does take a lot of strength to do that, to stand up, to speak up, to be yourself, to have opinion, to say your own value, to say your own opinion. It's especially hard if you have a fear of judgment, or a fear of like people thinking a certain way about you. And I feel like pie 4, I feel like you are very strong. You have a lot of inner strength. You can do it. if you want to break this pattern, like, you can definitely stood up and speak up. So look to your inner strength. You are stronger than you realize. Yes, by 4, you are stronger than you realize. If you have an opinion and you feel like someone doesn't agree with your opinion, that's fine too. I mean, everyone have their own opinion, and if yours and another person doesn't align, doesn't mean there's something wrong. It just means that you and that person have a different point of view, different perspective, and that is totally normal. So you are stronger than you realize. The angels are asking you to dig deep inside your inner self. The strength is in you. Though it may not feel like it right now, you will be able to push through this. Believe in yourself and know you already have the power you need within you. When you are in a state of empowerment, yes, empowerment is the word I would use to break this pattern. Empower enough to be yourself, to say your truth, to speak your truth. You can live from a natural state of peace. Being stressed or afraid is not a natural way of living. Trying to figure out what is challenging you and disconnect from whatever is creating stress. Establish boundaries and take back your personal power. This is an ideal time to develop a new way of thinking. What has been dominating your thoughts? Are you caught up in own patterns? Oh my god, this word, own pattern. Yes, pattern of being afraid of people's judgment or what people think of you or their idea of you. It's like, another example is like, you wouldn't start your YouTube account or your Instagram account, like you wouldn't start doing YouTube, filming silly reels because you're afraid that people will judge you or like calling you cringe. But it's like you want to express yourself, you want to do a YouTube video, be creative, but you're afraid you won't start your channel because you're afraid of what people would think of you. It's like that kind of energy. I feel like if we think like that, we're never gonna get what we want. We're never gonna do what we want if we have this own pattern of like afraid of what people would think. So if you have if you want to do a YouTube channel for a while, specifically, it could be about anything. For a while, if you want to do a YouTube channel, please do it. It's like, do it for you. You have control over your feelings. Remind yourself that you have the inner strength to tackle whatever you are currently facing. A crow goddess is holding a delicate and translucent ball in her hands. At the center of the ball, there is a solitary female. This may refer to feeling small, a block. The emphasis of the goddess crown symbolize higher knowing. You have more power than you realize. Believe in your inner strength. Yeah, this could indicate like a blockage or fear of, expressing your feelings. Yeah. So this hair, another thing is, if you want to dye your hair a certain color, or even this rainbow color, you can do it by 4. You don't have to care about what people think. Like, your hair is your hair. You can dye it any color you want. And with that example, if you dye your hair and someone like comment on it, like not a nice comment, then we just don't pay them any mind, because maybe they're just jealous of you that you have the courage to dye your hair a certain color, but they don't have that, so they're just jealous of that. Just an example. I'm gonna give you a poem number 11. This one is called this is an original poem written by me. This one is called Willfully Blind. I'm crying by myself, wishing for anything else. It's not that I'm ungrateful, it's just I want to try something new. Repetition of patterns from people, action, are becoming unbearable. I do not know what exactly that they're living for. Maybe they don't know as well. It would kill them if they find out. That's what they're on and on about. It's not the point. They miss what makes life magical. They miss the point completely. They cannot see, and their blindness is killing me. Yes, it's like another scenario that I could describe is like, if you are starting to become spiritually awakened, I think you might be if you're watching a pick a card, like if you feel like you're starting to be spiritual awakening, becoming spiritual, but you feel like you're the only one in your friend group or in your family, and you feel alone in that. That's a scenario, and you feel like no one is seeing or feeling or know what you're going through. Yeah, you might feel like disconnect, because you might feel like you're the only one who is going through this, which is okay. Pie 4, I feel like it's gonna be like temporary. It's like when we upgrade, yes, you could say, like if you're going through spiritual awakening, you are upgrading, you are ascending. So whenever we are upgrading or ascending, we have to disconnect for a while in order to, upgrade, and then we will be connecting again, even better. So it's a temporary experience. If you are feeling that, it's like, think of a computer. It's like our laptop. It's like if you want to upgrade a laptop, right, you need to, temporarily disconnect or like turn it off or let it upgrade. And then when you finish upgrading, the laptop is more updated. The laptop is more advanced, you could say, with more features and better, faster connection, with more options and more, you get what I mean. Yes, if that is your experience, just know that you are upgrading, and it is a good. It might not feel good right now, but it's temporary, and you will come back to yourself, like connect deeper. So that's it. Pie 4. Thank you for listening. So if you resonate, please let me know, or don't forget to comment. But if not, that's okay too. Like, this is just a general reading. And if you want to read more of my original poetry, you can follow me on Instagram and Tumblr. And if you want to read more of my written pick a card, like I do a lot of pick a card reading in writing form in Tumblr, if you want to check that out as well. And thank you so much for listening. Bye bye.